Welcome everybody to episode 301 of the effing title. I'm Big Husky.
And I'm DeNutte.
And we are back. 301, baby. I missed you.
What was 300?
300 was the mock draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, did I miss 300? Mock draft.
Yeah, no, it was the mock draft. And it's funny because I said to Fedge, at the end of last year, I brought up that I'm getting close to 300. And he's like, come on, make up some bullshit episodes. Let's go. I want to be on episode 300. And it's kind of fun. It's funny how it just naturally fell that way eventually.
How were the drafts? Were you close?
We were in the top 10. We were 6 for 10. And then from then on, bad. Just bad. So,
did you guys have Shador going earlier?
We had, Fedge had Shador going to the Cowboys at 12.
So, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that was the thing, is like our drafts are always kind of a mix of like what we think, but then also kind of like what we would do plus what we think, and then also just some bullshit thrown in there, you know. So, but like we don't do trades because trades are difficult to do, and then also we're the people as well who are like, just trade back. There's no one really here that we want, trade back. Best player available doesn't look good, trade back. Right? That's who we are. So it's just one of those things where. But yeah, no, I mean, it was a good weekend. I watched up until Shador got drafted. As soon as Shador got drafted,
what was he, 256?
Something like that. Something ridiculous. It was I originally on day, because I streamed day one on Twitch, and I said that the Browns should have traded 33 and 36, moved back up into the first to get him. Because if you draft someone in the first round, I don't know if you noticed, if you draft someone in the first round, you get a 5th-year option. So once their 4-year contract's over, if they're in the first round, you can offer them a 5th-year option before trying to set up that long-term deal, right? So that was what I was saying, was like, do that because then you get the 5th-year option on him. Didn't happen. Yeah. And then all the way through day 2, I'm sitting there like, he's got to be going here. Didn't go. He's got to be going here. Didn't go. He's got to be going now, right? Didn't go. And I'm sitting there like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is just insane. Like,
it is crazy because it's like, you follow way more than I do. It's like from like, Travis Hunter going 2, which obviously that makes sense 100%.
Yeah.
Like him going so far, and it's like, is it because no one likes him? Is it the whole thing that Dion's a package? What's the whole thing?
I mean, it was such a weird thing because like there's multiple different things that came out as time's gone on that people just kind of over, like, his tape is good. I liked Shador. I thought Shador was a very good quarterback. He was number 2 on my board. If I were to fully make a board, didn't make a fully board, but if I was to make a board quarterback wise, he's number 2. I like him a little bit more than Jackson Dart, but I think it's all just it's one of those things like 1A or 2A, 2B sort of thing. But like there was at the combine, there was people saying that he was sandbagging interviews.
Okay.
So like if he went, like if someone wanted to bring him in for an interview and he didn't want to go there, he would just sandbag the interview. There was reports of like him go like same thing, kind of like at the combine. Like he went to combine, but he didn't actually do anything. Oh, he went to the combine.
That's right.
Didn't do anything. He just showed up to do interviews. He went to the pro. I think it was a Senior Bowl. Same thing. Went to the Senior Bowl, just did interviews. During a pro day, he was like, "Look, if you're not trying to change the culture, don't trade. Don't get me. It's that simple. Like I'm trying to change stuff. I'm trying to do things." Like, there's a whole thing about his dad at one point coming out saying, like, look, we're going to do what's in the best interest for these guys. And if we don't want them going to this place, we're not going there. It's that simple. So there was a lot of that sort of stuff, too, going on. And then, like, you see, like, there's a lot, like, apparently there was one that came out that said that Brian Dable, the head coach of the Giants, had a meeting with him. And Shador showed up late. He wasn't prepared. He didn't understand the material. And when he got called out for it, he kind of snarkily responded back to Dable. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like a grand unifying sort of like.
People hear that and they don't like it, so.
And that's the thing, is like as soon as one person starts hearing negative things, then it just slowly starts to trickle back and back and back, and is it worth it? And like there was, I forgot which analyst it was that said it, but they made a fantastic point that like once you get past round 1, round 2, 3 is kind of like you're looking for like developmental guys. So it's like, is he a developmental guy? I think he could be a starter, but yeah, he's going to fall into that range right now. But as soon as it gets past that now, at that point, or as soon as it gets into 3 and into more rounds later, it gets to the point of you're going to be a backup. How much stress, media bullshit is going to come from having him as a backup?
Yeah, because right now he's like 4 or 5, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, Watson's still hurt.
Yeah, Watson's hurt. They just brought in Joe Flacco, so that's your starter, most likely. They have Kenny Pickett, who's a first-round pick a couple years ago. They just brought in Dylan Gabriel right before. They drafted Dylan Gabriel right before drafting Shedeur Sanders. And it's one of those things where you look at the final thing with this. Sorry, not sorry, everybody, but football talk. The draft room, the war room, they showed it after they picked it, and all the people are clapping and everything. And if you look at the faces of the GM and the head coach, they just look defeated. And it's one of those things that's like, was this an owner move? Because they just took Dylan Gabriel. So if they just drafted a quarterback and then the next pick right after that for them is another quarterback, it's like it's 100% that the owner.
How often is there like they have 5 deep on quarterback? Well, I guess 4.
I mean, going into preseason, some teams would carry a bunch if they don't know what they're doing, sort of thing. Some teams will bring in quarterbacks as camp arms, so then their starters and second string guys' arms don't wear out, so they can just have the young bucks ripping it, sort of thing. So I mean, it's one of those things. But like, yeah, having 5 deep right now, especially like with a team like that, it's kind of, ooh, yeah. So, but yes, that was episode 300.
That's not what we're talking about today.
Today we're talking about a what if situation, which I think is kind of interesting. I heard another streamer kind of talking about this a little bit this past week, and I was like, or within the past couple weeks, and I was like, he has a good point. I think if I remember correctly, it was Tim the Tap Man, and he was talking about Verdansk coming back, and that's kind of how it popped in, and him saying that the biggest fumble was Halo not having a BR. Halo Infinite should have released with a BR. And I guess now they have kind of a BR, last man standing sort of thing. Yeah. What I've been seeing.
Well, they really fumbled the release of Halo altogether. And then we talk about that more. But, like, they fully, like, when it came out, the Infinite, like, multiplayer was, like, awesome.
Yes.
But it was so limited. Like, it was, because it was nice again, like, like, the big thing about Halo is that like everyone starts like pretty matched up. You don't have classes. Halo 5 did it a little bit, but not like crazy. So everyone starts with the same gun, and then you pick up more powerful weapons on the map. So it's kind of like an even playing field. So it's nice going back to that, but hit register was kind of junk for a little while. Like there's a lot of desync stuff. So like you'd shoot someone and the shot just wouldn't count. So that happened a lot. So especially playing ranked, it was like you're doing that, and like it just was like hard. And then like a lot of things like off the bat, like the campaign. Big thing with campaign has always been like co-op, playing with your friends, especially like couch co-op. This you couldn't even play co-op whatsoever. And then like they released it like a year later, and it was still janky.
I was gonna say, wasn't this also like the first open world campaign as well?
Yeah.
So, like, that's always going to be
so
a big...
it was weirdly compartmentalized. You have... So, like, Halo games have always just been, like, a level, where it's, like, you just work through the level. So this is, like, you work through a level, you go in the open world, you go to a different spot, you do a level, you're back in the open world. So you're in and out of the open world, but you're doing levels within that.
Okay. So
you're like doing dungeons essentially.
I was gonna say kind of like Gears 5 kind of did that to an extent, where the different areas, when you go to like the tundra area and then you go to the desert area, it's like massive area, but then like you go to the offshoot places to do the main story and the little side missions.
Like, do you ever play Borderlands?
No, but I've seen people play it.
So that sounds like Borderlands, where it's like it's a big open world, but there are sections. Like this was truly just an open world, and you'd go to a spot and it would like put you into a level, and it was completely separate than the open world, and then you don't go back to that area later either. So it was truly like compartmentalized.
Okay.
So it was interesting how they did it, whereas like Borderlands you can like go back to a lot of those areas after.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So here's the big question, I guess. Let's just rip this right off the rip. Do we think a Halo BR would actually, one, be successful, and two, revive Halo to an extent? I mean, Halo's still.
People play it.
I mean, it's still it's one of those things. Like, I only ever see Halo being talked about with a guy that I know from the glitch community who posts about it, and it's like the esports like championships and like that sort of side of it. Outside of that, though, I don't really hear much about Halo anymore.
I see at this point, I really think that like the only way to save Halo is to come out with a new game that like people can't put down. Because at this point, I don't think people are going to go back to Infinite, which they had a lot of people play when it came, but like there was like 6 maps, and that was it. Like there was just like. People, you know, this always comes up, like the short attention span thing, the game of the moment. Like this game never pushed past like the game of the moment.
Yeah, it was just kind of because I remember I played it for when it first came out for a good solid month, but then it was
and then so like the big problem is like Forge has been a huge thing in Halo in the last many Halo games. Didn't release for like a first year and a half. A big staying power is like the custom games, the Forge, like people making their own maps that get turned into like that you can play in like matchmaking. So it's just like they kind of really dropped the ball, which I don't know. It's tough because then like if they came out with a battle royale, I think they'd really have to push it as a separate game,
as its own separate entity sort of thing.
Yeah. Even if like. I know they've done. I mean, like I have the Master Chief skin in Fortnite. I don't know if like it's tough because it's like because then you even talk about like our BR still like #1 because like so Halo was originally made by Bungie from like 2001 to 2010, and then Halo Studios started, and that's from 2011 to now. So like Bungie had like who was like known for Halo, like their big thing is like this other company's had it for longer than they did. And now you look at Bungie now, they're coming out with Marathon right now.
Yeah.
Which not a BR, it's an extraction. So they're doing something not different, but like if you think about it, like extraction shooters really haven't caught on. Like we have Tarkov and then Arena Breakout and then the Hunt Showdown are like the 3 big ones right now.
Yeah.
Frontier, something Wildland. I forget what it is, but there's Frontier Wonderland. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. Frontier came out with a game a couple years ago, and that caught on for a little bit, but people stopped playing that right away. But Hunt got like they remade Hunt the Showdown. They put a new engine that did a lot of stuff. They revitalized that game. People were playing it, but people are still crushing Tarkov.
That's the thing. Is like it's like with the extraction shooter thing, it always feels like Tarkov has been king. And then there's some other ones because like I've heard, and I've seen Hunt the Showdown. I've thought about playing it a couple times.
It's on Game Pass now.
Yeah, that's the other reason why I've thought about it is because now it's an easy instead of being like, hey, you know, I'll buy this for you guys. Now it's just hey, let's just download this quick play today and that's it. You know, but it's like
the big problem is like battle royales pretty casual. Like if you think about it, unless you're playing COD all the time. But Fortnite no build is like a pretty casual game.
Yeah.
Extraction shooters are not casual.
Yeah, extraction shooters I feel like are the sweat of all gaming world to an extent.
So it's tough. I really like Marathon, the idea of it. I applied for the alpha. I tried to get in, didn't get into this one. I don't know. It seems interesting. People really hate the art style. I think it's like a nice, fresh art style.
It looks interesting. I haven't seen enough to actually fully be like able to say like this is the Husky opinion.
So you might like this. They put out like a 9-minute video, and it's made by a guy who did a couple of the Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh, really?
Episodes. Yeah, like first season. You know the episode where like the guy looks across out of his window and he sees someone killing someone. That guy, the guy who made this.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check.
And then he did another one. I can't remember what the other one was, but so it just seems like a cool world. And this one, especially like your guns that you have, like you have base weapons you go in with, and like they're pretty like they're not bad weapons. So
Yeah.
it's like you're kind of like on a more even playing field.
Okay.
So it's all about like this one is like it feels more like an like extraction than
Okay.
it does like a COD.
Well, it's interesting because like we're slowly seeing the circle of kind of like Fortnite came out, bunch of BRs came out, right?
Yeah.
COD started.
Spellbreak, that's
Yeah.
gone.
Spellbreak. Hyperscape. Spellbreak. Hyperscape.
Hyperscape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Realm Royale still has servers running, which is always wow to me.
Yeah.
But then, like we saw, Halo Infinite came back and brought back arena shooter for a little bit, and then we started seeing some arena shooters pop up, and now we're starting to see this run on hero shooters with, we had Rivals, we had Concord, we have Fragpunk, which is supposedly coming to Xbox real soon.
People are loving it, but
Yeah.
it's just people aren't playing it. So
And it seems like extraction shooters are the next one, but it is interesting because there also was the thing that came out recently where Ubisoft is now apparently going to be making a BR because Ubisoft Ubisoft is seeing the fall of Apex numbers and wondering if they can cash in on that thing. So
Ubisoft just did. They just released a new DLC for or about to for the Division 2. Yeah. So every like another Ubisoft property that's still going somehow.
I was gonna say I'm just waiting for the Division 3 to be announced at this point because it's just
they are working on it.
They are okay.
So there's like been a whole thing with that. They were gonna do Division 3, not Division. I want to say Wildlands, but that's the Ghost Recon one. But like they're come out with a free to play live service one that was like going to be not as polished, but like a live service. So it was always going to go because like Division 2 isn't a live service game, but they have had steady like things. But like this new DLC, you go back to New York where you went the first game. So I don't know. It's just I really love the Division, but like the issue with the Division is like once you finish the game, there's not like enough end game stuff. But I also bring up the Division because the online multiplayer aspect of the Division, like the PvP, is an extraction shooter.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Which people don't really, because it was probably the like earliest console extraction shooter. So what you do is you go into like a zone that's not in the campaign. It's like a special zone just for PvP. There's NPCs. It's PvPVE.
PvP.
So
okay.
there are other players, but like if you attack the other players, you become marked as a bad player. So then people will know where you are and can attack you, and and then there's like helicopters, and you extract your stuff, and it's good gear, but like it's a soft extraction shooter, similar to like there's another battle royale, the one made by the guy who did District 9. Drawing a blank on it.
Neil Blomkamp did a BR?
Yep. Neil Blomkamp. And you're gonna, once you hear it, you'll be like, oh, I've heard of that.
Off the Grid.
Off the Grid. So I've played Off the Grid a couple times, early access. I got into the alpha. It was pretty good. It was super unpolished when I played it. I have not played it since it's been on full release. But that is also it's a battle royale extraction shooter. So you can get gear and cosmetics and money, and then you can like go to points and have that stuff extracted, but then also still be in the BR.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's kind of I think people are really exploring the extraction shooter thing.
Yeah.
So like, if they, like, you know what I would like, and I always go back to this, if they did like a Halo 3 ODST sort of thing, go back to that, because that was like one of my favorite games. And that was, you are like a special forces soldier, but you're not like as tough as a Spartan. You're not as strong, fast.
Okay.
If they did like a more tactical Halo thing, maybe. I think at this point a battle royale maybe an extraction shooter, but like at this point, I'm like, I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
like how do you save Halo?
Well, that's the thing is, it's like everyone always goes to battle royale immediately because I think that's just the go-to now of just like F it, battle royale, right? So the thing that I thought of immediately is how would you set up a Halo BR? Because like you look at a lot of the other ones, right? Like with Spellbreak, it's here's a map. The map starts to corrode as you play. You're all wizards and you have different abilities. Hyperscape was kind of like, okay, you're in this digital world, you drop down in, and the map starts to deteriorate around you, and you have super high mobility. COD is literally just, you're a military dude who might be dressed as a furry or a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or a Terminator.
I picked up Silent Bob.
I was gonna say that I said to Rob and Jeff, I was like, oh, thank God we don't play this because I'd be buying that immediately.
Yeah. Well, they just came out with a Blunt Man and Chronic one skin too as well. Yeah.
But yeah, so this is my thing. Is it's like, how would you, if we were sticking on the BR part of it, how would you set up map wise? I guess is the way I'm thinking of it. A Halo BR, at least to start. Would you do one of the worlds? Would you do one of the maps and just kind of expand it? Would you do like a training facility? Like how would you?
So Halo 5, the whole point was Halo 5 and Halo Infinite. Or not Infinite. Halo 5 is like the ship you were on was like the training ship for the Spartans. So they had these huge sections, and that's like what the maps were. Like where the maps were training grounds. So you weren't like killing other Spartans; you were all training.
Okay.
And so, he was freaking. So that was the whole point of it. It was like a training thing, and then they've kind of done that with Infinite a little bit. But so I think like one map you could like, so like the picture you have, he's on a ring. So you see the go behind him. So like when a ring's falling apart, stuff will just like collapse and fall away. So like it could be Hyperscape-esque where like the map deteriorates and like fizzles out and like disappears. You could do something like that, but then like also the drop system's already implemented because like ODSTs, they drop in these like drop shuttles.
Yeah.
And like in the game, a couple levels start with you as a Master Chief dropping in on a drop pod. So you could drop in a drop pod because there's also another BR, which you definitely haven't played, is called Population 1 on the VR. And so you start, and everyone starts on this platform, right?
Okay.
And there's a bunch of drop pods. So the weird mechanic of this game, it's you run out. If you hold your arms out, you can fly like a bird. You glide. Okay. You glide down. So you can jump off the platform and glide and go anywhere, or you can get in a drop pod and it'll shoot you off, and then you can pull the cord and then it will drop you down.
Oh, okay.
So that's so it's like this whole thing. I think maybe that it would have to be like that, or like. So have you played? We're all comparing different games. Helldivers.
No.
Seen
enough of it, but.
Yeah. So when you go, you pick a mission, right? You pick you pulls up like a 3D model of the map on the map table.
Yeah.
Like sci-fi, you see it's like you see the terrain. You can be like, I want to spawn. You can pick where you spawn.
I think that if I remember correctly, I think Spellbreak was like that. Or no.
I don't remember.
It may have been. There was one of the BRs where it was like that, where you picked. Oh no, you know what it was? It was Blood Hunt. Blood Hunt, you pick where you want to go on the map, and then your teammates can come with you, or they can go elsewhere. So that would be interesting because if you did that and just like not show where other people are going as well, and just go, I want to go here, and then like you said, just drop pod you right straight down, boom, you land and you come out of the pod. That would be sick.
So like I think maybe they could do it like that because it's like. Halo 4, I think Halo 4, not Halo 5, yeah, Halo 4 had this weird game mode where it was like, I think it was 8-on-8 or 16-on-16, big or 12-on-12, big like team counts, and then it was a PvPvE, So you played these things, and then as you leveled up, you got better guns. Like your team would level up. But then you had to get points. So then there were like bosses throughout the map
Okay.
where you go fight NPCs and you fight like these big bosses, and you get points for that. And it would power up your team, and then you had to go like destroy their base. So it was kind of like a soft league thing
Okay.
where it's like forests and stuff, but like it was like very, very soft. Like it wasn't
Interesting.
that close, but like thinking about it now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like you'd have to maybe do that too.
Okay.
You can't just like Fortnite is just PvP
Yes.
for the most part. Like sometimes they'll have like a boss you can go fight or whatever.
Yeah, they've started adding more bosses to the maps now, where like you can get like medallions, and the medallions give you power ups. Like they've started doing that more, but like, and if you don't go anywhere near them, then you're literally just fighting either other people or bots. Like, so.
I think you would have to do something like that or more with like a Halo Battle Royale. I think you'd have to like really populate the world with like squads of grunts and elites, and then like hunters and like. So there's a bunch of stuff you could throw into the world, especially like they have their Prometheans, they have the flood.
Well, that was one of the things that I was
sometimes you can have like a flood invasion. The ship pops in and flood pop out. I don't know. You could do like a bunch of stuff like that.
That was one of the things I was going to bring up, because I thought go to next, because I do like the idea now that you said of doing the Ark, the Ring, right? So then like you're on this one part of it, and literally like because like most maps, right? It's like the area deteriorates, but it's still there. Like the map is still there. Like imagine like what you said, where the ring falls apart. Imagine if literally you get trapped in the circle. There is no circle. The ring literally is falling apart. So you would fall off the map and just die. Like it's done. Like, that would be really that's a really interesting theory, or like not theory, but a thing to do.
Because did that, and I actually thought that was a really good mechanic.
Yeah, so I dig that. The thing that I was thinking as well was that like doing like a training facility of like you're training to become a Spartan. And like that's the whole concept, is like you're a 3-man team, 4-man team, 2-man team, however the hell you want to do it, right? And like your team is trying to be Spartans, and it's last man standing in a training facility. Go. But now that brings up the next question that we can move into is, would you just do, and like what you were saying with putting people around the map, would you just do that everyone plays as a Spartan, or would you do it so people can play as a Spartan or a Covenant or this or that, or like how would you set that up?
Well, that's another tough thing I want to bring up about Halo, is that like there's not a lot of like wiggle room with like characters, because like if you're a Spartan, you like if one guy's a Spartan, you don't want to play as like a normal Marine or something. So like you can't. It's tough because you can only pretty much have Spartans, but then you can have elites too. But like they've put elites. Elites were in Halo 2 and Halo 3, and like no one used them. You had a much bigger head box. So that's like another thing, is that like you can't put like I don't know, like a Goku skin in there.
That's just like that's the thing, is like, because that was one of the things I was thinking of, is like if you did it, then you'd almost have to either one, make all hitboxes similar, so that you're not making it so playing this race is a disadvantage playing this one, or you would have to make it so like, well, it's a disadvantage playing this race, but they have more health off rip, or they have this off rip, or they that sort of thing.
But yeah, so because if you've never had a game where you could play as a brute, like a couple of games you could play as an elite, but it would be like, but realistically, you could only play as like a brute, a Spartan, or an elite, because like grunts are like fodder, jackals are like fodder. So, that's the thing, is like with the lore of itself, which they've kept for so long, so simple, so straightforward. Like you have this guy, super soldier. You have your set loadout. Like it doesn't give a lot of wiggle room. And if like at that point, if you change it, is it like even Halo anymore?
That's fair.
So
that's fair. So
it's tough. It's like I think that's why they're having issues, because like how do you save that? Because like all these games you play, right? Overwatch, not so much Overwatch. COD, Rivals, you're always trying to get the next like unlock, right?
Yeah.
Like this is like, what do you unlock?
Because yeah,
and,
I mean
like they're
that's
not.
because that was the thing is it's like I like the because it's and no matter what monetization is going to be a thing. Like it's a thing.
They're really bad with
Yeah.
monetization.
So it's one of those things where
Well, 'cause-
you have to that's like as much as we in gaming don't want to like monetization, it's the only way that these things can survive and keep going and get better and do
Especially a free game.
Yeah. So
the issue, like when Infinite came out, skins were like $25.
Yeah.
And it only gave you like a helmet and shoulder pads, and you could only use it on like one set of armor. So if you didn't like that set of armor, they've changed it a little bit. I think you can use all helmets on different body types, and I think and all shoulders, and I think that's it. But everything else is not interchangeable.
Well, that's one of the things that I think would be interesting. That you could do with it beyond this it would be ballsy if they did it because there's some stupid shit that I know people would probably be able to do. But imagine the amount of customization that, like, because if we're just doing Spartans, right? You're just like a Spartan type character. The amount of customization that you'll be able to do on that character is going to be either limited or incredible, right?
Well, you think that, but then like Infinite wasn't like that crazy, and then like the problem with Infinite too is like was customization, but most of it, all of it, like 99% of it was behind a paywall.
Yeah.
You know, so like I remember I was like this. I bought cat ears for my helmet.
Yeah, I remember that.
Really fun.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have cat ears for my VR headset too. Right. But that was I think $15 for just these cat ears.
Yeah, because I remember there being like a samurai helmet. I think it was, but you could only use the samurai helmet on a certain skin.
On the samurai armor.
Yeah, you couldn't just have it on something. Like I think that there could be, and it would be limited after a while. Like there would be a limit to it after a while. But no, I do agree though. I think that like it's one of those things where it's like it's either it's going to be incredible or it's going to be like Infinite, where it's just like, oh, I just paid $20 to get a cattail. Cool, like that sort of thing.
I know a while back, Halo Studios came out with a trailer about like the future of Halo, and it was like, hey, we're working on stuff. Don't get. It was hey, this is my interpretation. It was like, hey, we're working on stuff. Don't give up on us.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's almost like too little, too late. It almost seems like they were doing a different game, but I don't. But like what like. I'm like, what do you do? I guess like.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's one of the reasons why, this, I honestly, and I'll word it like this as well. I don't think the Halo BR talk will ever go away until it truly happens. Simply just because it's one of those things where you have so many just massive creators, small creators, fans of the game, fans of BR, people who just like to play games across the board. Everyone, if you ask them, it's like, would you play a Halo BR? I'm going to say at least 80 to 90% of people are going to just immediately be like, oh yeah, of course. But
also depends on the price. That's another thing. Like Marathon right now, it's looking at like a $40 price tag for maybe 60, but I think 40.
Okay.
And people are upset about that.
It's wild how drastically different things are like that, right? Like people are upset about that, and then there's also people that are like perfectly fine with spending $90 or $80 on the next Mario Kart game that's going to be coming out. So it's
after they buy their new Nintendo Switch, that's like crazy money.
Yeah.
But so like then another argument is like, you didn't see it a ton with Halo. It's not that it wasn't there; it was there a little bit.
Yeah.
But like these free to plays are like inundated with cheaters.
Yes.
And then they're like, if you put it behind a paywall, people won't cheat. But then you look at Tarkov, you cannot get into a game of Tarkov without a cheater at this point.
Oh yeah.
You just can't. And Tarkov is behind a paywall.
Yeah.
I spent $150 on Tarkov.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. Like I think that it's a similar argument to bad people will always do bad things. Like it doesn't matter what the situation is, bad people would do bad things. Same thing as cheaters are going to do. If cheaters want to cheat in a game, they're going to find a way to do it. Doesn't matter if there's a paywall, doesn't matter if it's free to play, they'll find a way.
You know what I'm loving right now is like so there's always the talk of like PC versus console, and they're like PC's filled with cheaters, but then you like, and then like in the next video is a guy showing you his not Zim, it's the controller mod,
Yeah.
the pack,
The stim pack.
and it's stim pack, yeah. So Zim is so you can it's an adapter you can hook up and play mouse and keyboard with your console, because natively you can use a mouse and keyboard on console, but like games will make it so you can't. Like Siege for instance, there's crossplay on Siege and casual, no crossplay on ranked like Overwatch.
Yeah.
But you cannot. But like on COD, you can use a mouse and keyboard on console. But like if you use a mouse and keyboard on Siege, which is hardware locked, so you can't do that, and you get this thing called a Zim. If you get caught, you get banned.
Yeah, just boom, done.
Yeah.
So, but then this is like you're saying, like it's like, so what would you grind for? So it's like,
yeah. How do you scratch that itch in your brain?
Yeah, because I mean,
that's what people need now. They need rewards.
So you would.
That's more than just a battle pass system.
Well, that's the thing. I hate to say it. Battle pass is going to be it. Like, I mean, not it. That's going to be a part of it. I genuinely like battle passes. This is just a me thing. I genuinely like battle passes if they're done well. Throw that a little caveat on there. They're done well. $10 for like $100 worth of content, and you give me weekly challenges that I can do. Yeah,
Rivals is doing a really good job with it right now.
Rivals is killing it with it. I love the way that they do it, because like
the new skin thing they just had. I played it like twice this week, but I didn't finish the new skin thing to get the new Manta skin.
Yeah,
she got the new Manta skin, and she got some other stuff, and I was like, that stuff's really cool.
Yeah, the fact that when they do events, it's like you do the events, and it's like they don't release the entire event at once. Like Overwatch releases the entire event, it's like, here it is, boom. I think it's been a couple times where they don't do that, but I like when they do it. It's like, okay, here's the first one. The next chapter unlocks in 2 days. The next chapter unlocks in 4 days, and then it's 5 days. If you do all 4 chapters, then you get the free skin. It's like, that's really cool. And then like the challenges as well.
It gets you people to play. Too.
It gets you to come back.
It like tricks you into playing.
And like I like the way that they do certain things where it's like you have daily challenges. You have an every other day day challenge. You have weekly challenges now they added to it. There's event challenges, and then they do just random little challenges just for the hell of it, sort of thing. So it's like
the whole achievement challenges. Yeah. And so like, there's a ton of stuff to like grind towards. Yeah. Like if you play enough, you'll get this. You get lords. That's like a good thing they added.
That's a.
Yeah. So
yeah,
like it's just you got to scratch that brain itch, right?
So like. I would think,
and Marvel was like the kind of the perfect thing, because there's a million characters from Marvel that you can put in. Like, look, like Jeff the Landshark. Like who's Jeff the Landshark? You know,
I mean,
we all know at this point, but like it's just like, who are all these people?
And especially with the news they announced at the beginning of season 2, where they're like starting in season 3, and I don't know if you know this one or not, but starting in season 3, they're releasing a new character every month from now on. So every month we're getting a new character. Like, it's crazy, but then you think about it,
it almost seems like that's too much. That's too often.
And like I've said it before. I think Rivals will eventually become like League, in that there's going to be 150 odd characters, and it's going to be a hero shooter, and it's just going to be there's going to be like 90 different metas. There's going to be 90 different concepts. Like, you're going to randomly see a person.
But that's awesome.
Yeah, you're going to randomly see some dude playing a character that you've never seen before, and you've been playing the game for 3 months. Like, that's where it's going to get to, and I think that's great. I think it'll be fantastic, because it'll be something
like
we're going to see.
Because people I have no idea where Smite's at, but well, so then we didn't even mention like with Halo, they did like a top-down arena shooter. Yep, kind of like that is the same kind of angle as League. I don't know, maybe if they did a free-to-play Halo League game.
Interesting.
Like how Pokemon did.
Yeah.
And League and Dota.
It would be so like when we're talking about scratching the itch, like Battle Pass, obviously, challenges, yep. Prestiging guns, your character to get special skins, like that sort of thing. But now this is the next question, is like, so because like I have a list here. I don't know all the things off by heart, right? I just have a list here, and it just shows UNSC,
United Nations Space Command,
Covenant, Forerunners, Banished, and then it shows assault burst, mid-long, shotgun pistol, SMG sniper, rocket launcher, turret, and grenade. And there's a different one for basically each class. The only one that doesn't have a shotgun is the Covenant, it says. But so it's like you have all of this stuff here, all these things that you can do. So now the next question is this: do you do a system similar to old school Fortnite? I'll word it, where you get the gun, you pick up the gun, you use the gun, or do you do a system more like Apex, where you get the gun and then you find attachments and better things for the gun mid-game? Or is it going to be like a COD situation where it's like, I have my gun, but I can go get my loadout for my perfect situation that I want?
The loadout thing is like, there's never, I don't know how, like, the loadout would be like too much. Because it would be like, because that's a tough one. Because then, I don't know, I think it would be a find the gun situation. Not like Apex, more like Fortnite.
Yeah. Just as a base, this is the base gun. You leave it here.
Unless they overhaul the system, because the guns like don't have attachments now.
Yeah.
At all. So I don't know, maybe if they did, all right. So like Titanfall, right? Titanfall's super popular, led to Apex.
Yeah.
Titanfall 3 keeps getting leaked, whatever. Maybe if they did like a different story within Halo of a different thing, like where whatever reason we don't know about it, there's a ton of Halo lore. I've read like 15 of the books.
Yeah.
If there's a ton of Halo lore, but I don't like if they did something else where like how like the pilots are like the top soldiers, and then but then we go to the legends, right? Or would you call them the people in Apex Legends?
Yeah, they're just legends.
Legends, yeah. So legends aren't as powerful or strong as the pilots, but like they have this whole other thing, right? Am I accurate about that?
Kind of. I mean, it's one of those things that people always say the pilots are stronger than the legends, but then there's also a one of the stories from the Outlands is Bang and Newcastle before they were Bangalore and Newcastle, like for the legends. When they were just pilots and like soldiers.
Oh, they were pilots?
Well, they were soldiers and they fought a pilot and killed the pilot.
Okay.
Yeah. So like it's one of those things, like there's two sides of it, and it's
so like maybe if they do something like that where it's like a different part of the universe that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
But the thing about Halo is not so I would say like Titanfall, Apex is like kind of hard sci-fi where it's like kind of like technology that's beyond our realms. Like at the end of the day, like there's always been a talk like who would win in a fight, Doom Guy or the Spartan, right? Yeah. And like Doom Guy would win, but like the Spartan existing is like more of a realistic thing. Mm-hmm. Like they've all been genetically modified. Like people are already doing this, already modifying thing. Like babies are being born with certain gene sequences, so they have like bets, like are smart, or like whatever. So like this is like their bones are hard as steel and concrete, and like they're super strong, they're huge. Like that is like a more thing than like this thing that survived hell that like is like this like hellspawn thing. Mm-hmm. So like it's a more realistic thing. So like that's the tough thing about this game is like there is like a sense of realism. Yeah. And I hate to say that about it because it's not at all.
Yeah.
Like, because then you look at COD, you're like zombies, like you're doing this whole thing where like these people are surviving crazy instances when they shouldn't. Whereas like like a Spartan, like if he falls out of an airplane, he might die, but he might survive.
Yeah, exactly right.
But it's all like calculated down to his body mods. So it's like, do you go a more sci-fi, almost goofy approach, or do you like go like a hardcore? Because it in a current state is just because it's not like there's never anything about the game that's funny, right? Yeah. It's not like a funny game. They're like Easter eggs that make you laugh, but like it's not like a game that ever makes you like feel good.
Yeah. Well, like that I just made me think of it when you said about like jumping out and landing, that sort of thing. Like, would there be, with the weapon aspect of it, would you also have there be, to an extent, like classes? Because, like, for instance, in the Halo TV show, which I know you're not a huge fan of, but in the Halo TV show, right, like, the chick in it, she's a sniper. Like, that's her whole
Yeah.
gig. So
Didn't even think about that. Yeah.
So would you have it, so it's like you load in, it's like, okay, I'm going to load in as a heavy class, I have an assault class, and I have a sniper with me. And, like, you load in, and that's it. Boom.
That would be a good idea. So, like, all right, Hell Let Loose is a game I play a bunch. You can have snipers on the teams, but like each team can only have 2 snipers.
Yeah.
So like you can limit it because I think like too many snipers would just like
just a full team of snipers just sitting up there just camping.
Because you could just one shot people, it would just kind of ruin it. And then so I don't know, maybe if you you had like you had to have someone one per role.
Yeah, like
you had like a medic.
Have like maybe so, like 4 or 5 classes, maybe even more than that, and it's just like you can only have one on a team, and then it's just go.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
And then
maybe even if they went like just went full Battlefield and did like a Halo Battlefield.
Oh, that'd be wild.
That'd be like you know what, that could be cool.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, and then the last thing I was going to bring up was of course the one of the ones we all know, right? You got your Warthog, you got your Scorpions, you got your Ghost, right? You got, Wood Chopper, Prowler, Spectres, Revenants, Wraiths, like, do you throw vehicles into it?
Well, you would have to, but it would be like more like a Fortnite thing.
Sorry.
But that, I guess, unlike other games, like these vehicles actually like kill people, and then like vehicles are like a game changer. Like there's been a couple games where I was playing something and we were losing, and somehow a tank got spawned on this map, and like there's one game I went on like a 28-player kill streak, and we won the game.
Just a random rhino just dropped in. You're like, I bet.
Yeah, and like one of the guys messaged me, and he's like, "You're a pussy." And I'm like, "Still won."
Scoreboard.
Yeah, so like, it's tough because that's the thing is like, Halo is like everyone's on an even playing field until they get a power weapon or a vehicle. Like vehicles are like, there's no game like it where like vehicles have such a power hold over the map than in Halo.
It's the more and more, especially after this, and this is my brain thinking, the more and more we've talked through it, it just genuinely feels like it's one of those things where it's like, it would be great to have a Halo BR. However, trying to get all of the elements of what Halo is, of even making a brand new Halo story, or just putting all the things that people would want into the game, that's a lot.
After I said it, I've been sitting here thinking about it, like a Halo Battlefield, right? You have, again, I'm bringing up Hell Let Loose, like this game we play. You have a squad. You have like 6 people in your squad. You have a squad lead. Then you can have like a medic. You can have a rifleman. You can have an anti-tank. You can have a support, an engineer, people that build stuff, that like put down ammo, sort of thing. And then what if you made like a game like that where like your squad lead was a Spartan and then everyone else was like a human?
Yeah.
And then you have to go fight the other side, which has like that are the Covenant, and like their squad leads an elite, and then they have grunts and other stuff that are like.
That'd be cool.
So I don't know. Yeah, so it like kind of makes it like this more realistic shooter for like a wartime thing.
Yeah, because I mean, like that's like, I would like to see Halo being back to kind of the peak of where Halo used to be. Right, because I remember being back in high school, first year of college when Halo 3 was out, and it's like going over to my boy Andre's house, and it's like me, him, Scotty, rest in peace, and it'd be like we'd get there at 8 o'clock, leave at 2 a.m., and we just played Halo all night. That's it.
Yep.
And it's just it's, I don't know, maybe it's the fact of, and in today's day and age, maybe arena shooters are dead. Maybe that's just a thing, and we just have to come to grasp with that.
What other arena shooters are out?
I mean,
can you name one?
I mean, COD,
COD's mostly a Warzone thing.
Yep.
In zombies.
Warzone Zombies, and S&D now.
Yeah,
I mean, outside of that, I mean, what, Splitgate?
Yeah, yeah, dead game.
The only other one I can think of is literally a dead game. It's the one Ubisoft did that I was playing for a little bit. X
Oh yeah, the
Defiant.
COD clone.
Yeah, X Defiant. I
Yeah.
mean, outside of that, then it's Halo. I mean, or Halo Infinite. You know, it's like it's
Because like Counter-Strike isn't that, Valorant isn't that.
nope. Those are both technically they're S&D, right? The Search and Destroy.
Yes, and then like Siege, people. One of my coworkers, he only plays Siege. Doesn't play a single other game. Siege every night. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, dead game. He's like, no, dude, ton of people in this game. They're about to come out with a new update.
Ton of people.
So I mean, that's another Search and Destroy, and like they're coming out with a new update, which is going to make it an arena shooter. There's a new permanent game mode that is an arena shooter.
Interesting.
And like he's like, that's not
that's not Siege. That's not
stupid. That's not Siege. So I think that's like a pretty common like thought about that. So I don't know. It's just that whole thing where it's like it doesn't scratch the itch.
Yeah.
Unless the only thing that works with COD is like the camo grinds.
Mm-hmm.
That like
yeah,
that gets a lot of people off. So
because I mean it's like I was wrong about the time of when this game was going to come out. It actually comes out next year. I thought it was coming out this year, but Gears E-Day comes out next year, right? Gears of War E-Day comes out next year, and that's we're going to see. I think we're going to see a rise in Gears, right, and that sort of thing. I think if they're probably going to do multiplayer with it. They just did campaign. It would be dumb. So, but like I wouldn't be surprised if you see Gears of War kind of slowly come back to the to the front light with that coming out with how big Gears used to be.
If you watch people play Gears, it is a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean,
the meta of Gears is like, and I'm saying that I played a ton of Gears, Gears 1 and Gears 2. I played a ton of Gears multiplayer.
Yeah. So it's where does Halo go? Is it a BR? Is it an extraction? Is it a search and destroy? Is it a battlefield sort of against everyone? Is it a Hello Kitty Island? Like what do we do?
Do we do Halo Coral Island? We do a Halo I don't know. It's just silly. My girlfriend's playing like Coral Island.
Oh, is she okay?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Is it's just like it's weird seeing a once like at the very peak of all gaming game now be one of those things where it's like it's just a genuine question of what next, and there not being an answer. Same thing with
Doom. I guess you could say Doom is arguably the same or bigger, but I think Halo was like the biggest multiplayer game ever.
Yeah, I mean,
the chokehold from like 2004 to 2009, 10.
Yeah, no, it was like
nothing like it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like Doom's always been Doom. I think was revolutionary at the very beginning, and then Doom has just had that consistent, just like these are the people that play Doom. That's just it's there, right? They're not looking to get new people. They're not looking to become the next biggest game. They're just doing Doom things, and that's it.
And like in Quake, Quake as well.
Yeah.
Doom wasn't really it had multiplayer, but it was more known for the single player.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but Quake was a big, and then like Unreal Tournament.
Yep.
So I don't know, like those are very early games that like paved the way for Halo.
Yep.
But did you know Halo originally when it came out was going to be like an open world third person game?
I did not know that. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they're very early builds you can find where like you're like killing dinosaurs and stuff. Because it was an Apple product.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was being developed for Apple, and then Microsoft bought it.
That's wild.
So,
yeah, I mean that's I don't know. Like I said, I think the concept of a Halo BR is cool. It would be really interesting to see. However, though, now actually like looking through everything and talking through it and seeing all the different things and trying to put it together. Obviously, we could bare bones the whole thing and just make it very bullshit and very basic, but it's one of those things where
you're not going to keep anyone.
That's the thing. Is like when you're talking about Halo, which has been out for 20 plus years, 30. Yeah, you know, when you have 24 years worth of lore, story, characters, guns, weapons, all
These
these
Zoomers
things.
have no idea.
Yeah, it's like it's a lot to put into a game. I mean, even if they tried to plan it out over years, it's still going to be a lot to put in over those years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Like, obviously, we want to hear from you guys and see what you guys think about this as well, because this is just our opinions on it.
I convinced myself to liking the idea of like a battlefield.
I kind of like the idea of it too, because you can do. I mean, I like the idea of doing. I mean, because what? How many different groups could you do? Instead of it being a one-on-one, could you do?
Four.
I was gonna say, could you do four teams go in, one team comes out, sort of thing?
I would keep it 1-on-1, and then you can have like NPCs too.
Okay.
Like Arma is a thing right now that you have like a 1v1, but then there are also some of the servers have like an NPC faction that is just in the map as well.
All right, maybe that's something that we'll talk about later on. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? But let us know what you guys think. Halo Battle Royale, do you think it would work? What other game?
How do we save Halo?
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest question though. At the end of the day, is how do we save Halo? Let us know what you guys' opinions are, what you guys' thoughts are down in the comments down below. And also, just for the hell of it, what game do you think should have a BR?
Hello Kitty Adventure.
I'm just South Park. Give me a South Park BR. I think that'd be hilarious.
Okay. It sucks that the like the multiplayer arena shooter they came out with like completely tanked and everyone hated it and no one played it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give me a South Park BR. That'd be hilarious. Or give me like a Family Guy. Like I'm just thinking stupid. Yeah, right. I'm just thinking completely out. I mean, Simpsons Hit and Run. Let's be honest here. That's
what we really want. Hey, I'm hooked on Oblivion right now.
Yeah. So, yeah. Let us know what you guys are playing as well. And how do we save Halo? Right. As always, though, depending on where you are, morning, after, even night, still stay safe, and we'll talk to y'all later. Okay, bye.